We often forget, don't we, that actually that festive period, if you're on your own, is actually a miserable time.
Oh, it can be incredibly lonely for people. And what we find, we work with people who are over 75 and we work with them throughout the year. And you'll find that people actually of that age cohort, they won't tell you they're lonely on the 16th of November or the 5th of May. But when it comes to Christmas, they will actually say, do you know what, I am worried about being alone. And they even talk to us, in June and say, I'm not sure what I'm doing at Christmas. And so for that reason, we've got this directory of events that are going on right across the country. And what we want to do is to anybody who's setting up an event, they can put it on our directory and then we'll make sure that older people can find them.
What are the sort of hurdles that people have to sort of signing up and saying, yes, I'm going to take part? Is it sort of maybe a reticence to admit that you're lonely or a bit of pride?
Do you know what? Not at Christmas. It can be. We find that throughout the year. But at Christmas, the point about having an online directory, it sounds funny that you might think that older people might not have access to the internet. But actually, the reason we have a directory is because people will say, I'm worried about Christmas. They'll say, I don't want to be by myself. And so anybody can help them because they can, you might be talking to somebody on the bus or chatting to somebody in the supermarket. It doesn't matter. But you can then get out your phone and say, look, let's have a look on the community Christmas directory and see what's going on in your area. And then the older person can ring us up and speak to us about how they can find out more about it.
It's that initial contact, though, isn't it? It's quite a big step for someone who's not used to doing stuff like that. So how do you say to someone, look, just get in touch with us?
People are great at introducing people to us. So, you might find somebody's carer, somebody's relative, somebody's neighbour. If you've got somebody who's 85 living next door to you and you're going to be away for Christmas, then you can say to them, well, look, let's get you sorted before I go.
Yeah, and maybe you could invite them round for Christmas lunch as well, to be honest.
You're taking away, though. What I'm saying is if you're not going to be around, you can help them out. Was the scenario, yeah.
It might be a little bit daunting if you're experiencing loneliness or a bit of isolation to then say, oh, I'm going to go to kind of group carol singing where I don't know anyone. Understandably, you might feel a bit apprehensive.
I think you would. I think I agree with that. I think that's not quite what this is all about. So we do work all year round with older people, and we do bring older people into social activities and they get to know other people. And so what these tend to be is events that are set up by, for example, volunteers who work with us or by local community groups who do this all year round anyway. So you're going to be welcomed. It's not like you're kind of wandering in off the street. We're working with community organisations. In usual times, we work with care homes. We work with, there's a lot of churches that put their lunches up there, and then local community pubs. And all of these events usually have volunteers who are there to make sure that everybody can get in comfortably and get set down and have somebody to talk to. So it's not as you paint, it's a little bit different from that.
And Meryl, I guess the proof is in the Christmas pudding, if you like, in that they'll come back the following year if it's worked out.
Well, what we find, so Community Christmas was initially set up as a Christmas event 10 years ago as a charity, and then it became part of Re-Engage explicitly because what we do is have regular social activities for older people. They might be tea parties, they might be armchair yoga, and we also have a telephone befriending service, which we set up in response to the pandemic. So actually, anybody who comes along through us to any community event, they'll know about us, and all year round, then they've got the opportunity to join in with things. So I think that, loneliness is a funny thing, and a lot of us experience it a little bit or a lot of the time. But it's actually important to make sure that people know that there is somebody there. And once they join in our regular activities, actually older people find that you don't stop being lonely if you're 85 and you've lost everybody, but you do love finding new friends. And if all of your friends have died, then actually making new friends when you're 85 is something really very magical.